It's June 13th, and this is Mike and Bike, the morning commute edition. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a typical Pacific Northwest morning or day. Some nice drizzle coming down, lots of clouds. The kind of day we grow to love. And I'm just biking in my shorts and a t-shirt. So I was listening to an episode of This American Life yesterday about the whistleblower for Monsanto in the 90s, Mark Whiteacre. I think they've made a movie about him too, starring Matt Damon. And hello. Whitaker was an executive at Monsanto who basically wore a wire, a recording device, for over 2 years, recording all kinds of malfeasance at Monsanto involved in rigging prices around the world for various kinds of products like lysine, these are food additives and so on. And he did a pretty incredible job helping them build a case and doing everything the FBI could have possibly wanted and getting evidence on tape and video for all of the antitrust violations that were going on with Monsanto and between Monsanto and its competitors. But in the end, Mr. Whitaker did himself in with his own malfeasance. I guess he embezzled something like $9 million from Monsanto and didn't tell the FBI about it. And he ended up, and that proved to be a violation of his informer's agreement with or his immunity agreements with the FBI, because he hadn't disclosed it. And so he was prosecuted for the price fixing as well as his embezzlement. He got a longer sentence than anybody else involved. Served something like 8 years in jail. I guess that goes to some of the conversations we've had on this show before about how the whistleblowers rarely do well. You know, the FBI was upset because he was such a flawed vessel as an informant. You know, they would have rather had somebody who was totally upstanding. But unfortunately, I think most people are going to inform usually are a little bent too. Well, I mean, if they're involved in these crimes, they likely had some flexible moral fiber to begin with. But then, of course, when you look at how some informers for the mob or other criminal organizations have, the treatment they've gotten, the very nice treatment, is almost, it seems almost atrocious, considering how some of these guys would continue with their criminal behavior anyway, even after being pardoned or given amnesties and new lives and so on, to go on killing people or other things. It's just very sad. But unless you get somebody to inform or on their partners in crime, it's very hard to nail these organizations, these crime organizations. So what do you do? But back to Monsanto and price fixing and antitrust. I've always been kind of uncomfortable with these antitrust laws myself. I'm just not sure that it should be illegal, or should have been illegal, for Monsanto to get together with other companies and fix the prices for lysine. I mean, I maybe it's naive, but I still believe that in a free market system, if somebody's pricing their products too high, inevitably it'll lead to competition. I mean, somebody else would see that there's an opportunity to make money out of lysine and get into the business. I think the cartels can only last for limited periods of time, until some upstarts come that disrupt everything. And the only reason, the cartels that last a long time, I believe, do so because of government intervention or pseudo-monopolies that are granted through regulation in one form or another. There can be extensive regulation that raises standards or barriers to entry, for example, that makes it very difficult for new companies to get involved in the market. That's one way you can have de facto monopolies that make cartels possible. There's lots of other ways too. So I view that antitrust laws are necessary mainly because of other practices in the government that create de facto monopolies in the first place. And if you didn't have those cushy laws that favor incumbents, then price fixing wouldn't make a lot of sense and wouldn't last very long. Every time I go biking through this trail in the mornings, I'm always on the lookout to see if I can spot a beaver. There's quite a population of beavers around here that have been chewing down trees all along the riverbank. I think I saw a beaver once, but he went scurrying into the bushes. You got to be kind of early to catch them. I don't know where they have their dams though. And all of the trees they chop down, they just leave on the riverbank, so I don't see the point of that. Lots of rabbits today. And look how open the trail is. Not lots of cyclists. But the mornings rarely have huge traffic on the bike trails anyway.